What's up, everybody? I still don't know how we do these things. We should probably come up with an opener for these.
Yeah, I mean, just we can just say it's Anime Boys because we normally have the song playing, but since we switched to 100% video, we haven't done that again yet.
Yeah, but we need to because it's
Yeah,
cool.
it is.
All right, so this week we're doing Space Dandy. Um, I'm really looking forward to what Casey
This
has to
this
say
is
about it.
this is a quick thing we can do because this is I'm stealing this from another podcast I listen to. We'll do rhymes. So to start off, it's like, so did we like Space Dandy or would we rather have some candy?
I like that, or maybe a dry handy.
Ooh, I'm always down for one of those old dry handies.
All right, so Space Dandy. It was directed by Shinichiro Watanabe, and then produced by the studio Bones. Watanabe, by the way, also did Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, two of my all-time favorites. So,
One of my all-time favorites. I never could get into Samurai Champloo.
oh man, that's a shame. I love that one. But after watching this little bit of Dandy, it's like, man, the guy just puts out constant bangers. So, okay, for the cast, Dandy is played by Junichi Suwabe and Ian Sinclair. QT, voiced by Yuki Sataki and Allison Victorin. And Meow by Hiroyuki Yoshino and Joel McDonald. I mean, those are the main characters, so that's all I did for that part. But now some fun facts. And Casey, I think you had one too, right?
Yep.
You want to do yours first?
Yeah. So Space Dandy first appeared on Toonami on January 4th, 2014. And that was actually the world premiere of the show. It was on the revived, like when they first brought Toonami back, they brought in Space Dandy. World premiere. It hadn't even aired in Japan yet. Japan got it the next day. So really, the Japanese version is the dub.
That's funny and a very fun fact. Okay, so I've got a couple. Every alien shown in the series is conceptualized by a different artist. So Shinichiro Watanabe wanted to showcase the diversity and variety of the alien species in the show and thought that would be the best way to do it. I think that's a freaking awesome idea.
It is awesome.
Another one. No instrument invented after 1984 was allowed on the show. It was a full jazz orchestra working on the music.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah. And then the final one, also music themed. In the world of the series, everyone still listens to music on audio cassettes. MP3s and CDs do not exist in the world of Space Dandy.
One other thing like that I saw online, and I don't know how true it is, but it's supposed to technically be in the same universe as Samurai Champloo, Cowboy Bebop, and Space Dandy. They're all in the same universe together, or same multiverse, I guess, because as you'll see, stuff happens.
The Watanabe verse.
Yeah. So yeah, it first appeared on Toonami on January 4th, 2014. Like I said, do you have any memories of it first appearing? Because like I don't. Like I remember seeing trailers for it and
That's the
stuff, but I
thing.
never
The
watched it.
the promos I absolutely remembered because Dandy's pompadour is very memorable.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing that, but I never watched it back then.
Yeah, same here. I remember seeing stuff for it. And I wanted to because I remember it being described as Cowboy Bebop meets Johnny Bravo, which I'm like, that's fair after watching it. But I just, for some reason, never got to. Maybe it was because the time it was on or whatever. But yeah.
Yep. All right. Let's get into the episodes, huh?
All right, man.
So, all right. First episode, we've got Dandy, who's an alien hunter, and he has his robot companion QT, and they go around searching the galaxies for rare alien species while aboard their spaceship, the Aloha 1. One of my favorite things in this show is that they have a Hooters knockoff restaurant called Boobies.
Yep.
And they classify it as a restaurant,
Yep.
which I was just tickled pink.
So and Dandy goes to all of the boobies. Like that's his goal. So I wrote in my notes, me and Jake will do the same thing for every Hooters if this episode gets one like.
My
Say no
goodness.
more.
All right. So anyway, they're at a Boobies and they're looking for this alien and they mistake uh Meow as the one of the aliens that they're looking for. So they end up taking him in, and the bounty place wants nothing to do with Meow or most of the aliens that Dandy brings in, which I think is hilarious. But anyway, they end up going to some other planet inhabited by a rare alien species, and Meow messes up their like warp drive or whatever, and so they get out and they step foot on this planet only to be chased around by a bunch of giant creatures. And whenever Dandy and Meow are unable to return to the spaceship, Dandy tells QT to activate a secret weapon, which just obliterates the whole planet and everything on it, including the crew. I mean, I thought this first episode was just ridiculous and hilarious. What about you?
No, I thought it was ridiculous. I was like, holy crap, this is what they're doing. The voice acting is so good on the dub. Also, the animation's super good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was one part where Dandy is like talking about boobs just in general and how he's like, you gotta be a real knuckle dragger to just like boobs.
Yeah,
And
he's like one of the first things I note
yeah,
is Space Dandy is an ass man.
yeah. And then and so then I'm like, well, this is just me bragging right now. I'm like, well, if you look at my girlfriend, she's got both. I like both.
I like one of a couple of the quotes I have written down was not too shabby. He's like, you didn't hit anything.
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny. Um, and then another quote I had written down was, thank you, Dandy. Nobody will forget your gallant, appropriate actions. And then boom. Lots of funny stuff in that first episode.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on to episode 2. Dandy is tipped off by Meow about a so-called phantom ramen made by some undiscovered alien species. So naturally, the Aloha 1 travels to Rasta, a station filled with many ramen restaurants. Throughout the trip, Meow posts each location online using his phone, inadvertently leaving a trail for this evil scientist who sends armed forces to follow and capture Dandy. Scarlet, a receptionist at the bounty center or whatever for captured aliens, um, helps out Dandy by defeating the armed forces, I believe, completely on her own.
Yeah.
That was one of my memorable animation scenes was her fight with the forces there.
Yeah. All of the fight scenes, they just like amp up the
Yeah,
animation for those scenes. It's always so good.
yeah. But then Danny finally catches on that what Meow is doing, and he launches his phone out of the spaceship. um, and then the crew finds the restaurant which sells the phantom ramen, but Dandy and Meow are sucked into a wormhole inside of the ramen machine,
And
which
then that part was actually my animation. It's just my animation pick, and we'll get to that. Was like when all the different colors and stuff when they go in there was super
yeah,
cool and they get sucked in.
it was. But when they come through the other side, it brings them to a ramen cart owned by this old alien named Pops, who serves them the phantom ramen. It tells a story about how he became a ramen salesman. And then eventually Dandy and Meow get back to the restaurant where QT is waiting for them. Uh, what I loved is like Dandy is amping up this ramen and then Meow eats it instead, and then he just calls it okay. I mean,
Yeah.
that just fucking tickled me. It was
Yeah.
so funny. I think Meow is hilarious.
I think Dandy's hilarious. I'm like, yeah, I get why Dandy doesn't like him at times.
Yeah, for sure. Um, but yeah, again, highlighting Scarlet fighting the ramen guards, just
Yep.
awesome.
And my quote is from this episode, and so I'll say that for the end because there's a really good one here that I was like, yeah. Actually, no, I have another one. That was in the zombie episode, so I'll tell you this one. He says, "Whatever your name is, that's a grade A butt you got there."
Yeah, so funny. All right. Dude, okay, so my quote is also from the zombie episode, so I wonder if we have the same quote.
Wait, mine might not be from the zombie. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Well, I'll remember when I see it. It might be that one or it might be the episode 5.
Okay. All right, the third one. Um the crew is low on money and food. So Dandy sets a course to the nearest boobies to redeem a nearly expired points card, which is so stupid. Um, yeah, he fucks with the warp drive to get there, though, which causes a spaceship to crash land on a planet inhabited by, I think they're called Ragians. Um, but there, the crew meets a young lady who claims to have crash landed on the planet as well, and she invites them to use parts from her spaceship to fix theirs. However, Dandy and QT are warned by the Ragians that lady's actually a Deathgarian. I don't know. I'm reading subtitles, so which is the planet's most fearsome alien. Um, which turns out to be true when she turns into this monster alien and swallows me out whole, which made me laugh.
A monster boob alien.
Yeah, it's a monster boob alien.
Don't forget that part.
Dandy and QT pilot the Little Aloha, which is their escape pod. And I just wrote down like, haha, Little Aloha, because I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Um, but it transforms into a fighting robot, which I thought was pretty neat. And they end up defeating the boob monster by force feeding her a ton of the rancid space food that was left on board the Aloha One. And then obviously they bring that alien, the boob alien, to the bounty center where Scarlet finally accepts the alien, and Dandy and QT are just living it up, having forgotten all about Meow. So yeah, thoughts on
Yeah.
that episode?
It was a lot of fun. I liked it a good bit. Um, like there's a part when Danny goes, he's like, I don't need oxygen, I need boobies, and I just put been there.
That was a
Um,
great quote.
yeah, so it's just a good fun episode. I liked it a good bit.
Yep. All right. Episode 4.
This is the one that has my quote for sure. I remember now.
Dude, okay, so it starts off Meow is like super sick, and I think the face that they drew on him, like sick Meow, like I couldn't stop laughing every time they showed him. He just looked worse and worse. But Meow was bitten by this alien, and later he turns into a zombie. um but Dandy and QT think that he's just sick, so they admit him into a hospital and leave him there overnight. uh, they come back the next day and find it completely overrun by zombies. As Danny and QT try to escape the hospital, they both end up being bitten and turned into zombies as well. From then on, Dandy, QT, and Meow just adjust to their new lives as zombies. They diet on yogurt instead of raw meat.
Yeah, because they
Uh,
were eating raw meat, but they talked to the zombie that turned them, and then he
Yeah,
was like telling them, no, you should be doing yogurt instead because it's got bacteria, the correct bacteria in there.
right. So they use Danny's life insurance policy to, maintain their less than normal lifestyle. Uh, then after the life insurance companies fail to control the zombie population, every creature eventually becomes a zombie, creating a zombie utopia. Um, so yeah, I I'll my one quote that's not like my favorite quote was when he's like, "I've decided I'm going to be hospitalized too," and I
Yeah,
just
that
thought that
was
that was
funny.
really funny.
I'm gonna be honest. This episode drug for me. Like I loved the first half, but then I was like, they're still doing this. This is the whole episode. Okay, this is going a little too long. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Do we want to save our quotes for quote
Yeah,
time, or do
let's
you
let's
want?
save the
Okay,
quotes for the quote time.
all right. Fifth episode. Which, by the way, all the episodes have a title and then baby at the end of it, which I think is hilarious.
That is
So
funny.
on this next one, the crew is on a planet, and Danny goes out to capture a Jintuan, um, which ends up being a young girl who has the ability to transfer minds into dolls. But he's reluctant to do so when the Aloha One has been towed away for a parking violation. Before Dandy decides to bring the girl to the registration center to pay off the fine, the girl convinces Dandy to take a detour to an apartment to meet with her grandfather, but she finds it occupied by a female tenant. That night, Dandy tells the girl that he's going to a local boobies, but he secretly traces her grandfather through that tenant instead. And then that next day, Dandy takes the girl to the train station to meet with her grandfather. And initially, the girl thinks that Dandy is abandoning her, so she transfers his mind into her penguin plushie before storming off. But soon she gets kidnapped by two other alien bounty hunters. Dandy attempts to rescue her while still in the penguin plushie's body, but then the girl's grandfather later arrives and defeats the alien hunters. The girl thanks Dandy for finding her grandfather, and Dandy promises that the girl can. This is the weird part.
It was.
Dandy told the kid that she could come join his crew once she grew a fat ass and some boobs.
Yep.
um, I will say, I thought this was a great episode.
This
It
was my
was
favorite
actually my
episode.
favorite. Yep, it was my favorite of the episodes we watched. It showed that Dandy isn't just a sleazeball.
Yeah.
He's actually like a good dude when he wants to be. Um, but again, nearly all of that was undone by telling a little girl, "Once you're 18, come on back."
Well, it's Japan, so it's really like once you're 13, come on back.
Yeah, true that.
But but the funny part too is her response is like, "What an idiot! I'm gonna become back."
Yeah, I know. I know. But yeah, really, really loved this episode. It was just so good. All right. And then the sixth episode that we watched, uh, the crew heads to a moon, which is shown as a barren place where they land after being attacked by some lasers. While exploring the surface, Dandy and Meow separately encounter an Undie and a Vestian. Each alien reveals that their races have been at war for 10,000 years because the Undies oppose the Vests, while the Vestians don't wear underwear, and they're now the only individuals left from each race. So, after fighting each other because of the aliens, Dandy and Meow convince each alien to sign a peace treaty. However, according to galactic law, the treaty can only be sealed if both parties relinquish their clothing as their most prized possession to each other. Neither alien can do that, so the aliens fight each other to the death. But before dying, both aliens fire doomsday missiles to obliterate the moon. Dandy and Meow manage to escape when QT throws them a space surfboard and they surf their way out over the debris. A
So
fun episode.
it
Really
was
dumb, but
it was
fun.
super dumb. I was really half expecting Dandy and the underwear one to hook up.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But a funny story. So like Dandy has those, like they were all making fun of him for the surfboards. And when I was in college, my roommate had Brennan, he had a skateboard, like a longboard, because those were like kind of cool, like in 2013. And he never rode it. And so one day, my other roommate Chase, who didn't like him too much, was like, "Hey, Brennan, why don't you ever ride your skateboard? You just never use it. Can I use it sometime?" He's like, "No, I use it all the time. I do." And then so then like the next 2 days, Brennan would walk out with his skateboard.
That's great. Classic.
Yeah, because Chase knew what he was doing. Like Luke and Chase were like kind of trying not to laugh after that, because they
Yeah.
knew.
All right. So on to the awards. Memorable animation.
Yeah,
For
mine's the ramen noodle reality swap thing.
yeah, yeah. It could be any of the fights, but Scarlet fighting the ramen guards, it was just fucking awesome.
Yeah. Oh, what'd you think of the songs, the opener and the closer?
Yes, 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 yes. The opener was like fine, but I loved the closing one. It sounded
Yeah,
like a video game song.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, they worked with the show, but didn't do it for me.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, it's no Tank from Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. All
So,
right. Memorable line.
okay, so memorable line is from the zombie episode, and it's actually a song. It's I found myself a nurse, and her boobs are big and bouncy. They go boing, 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 and I feel it in my naughty bits.
Mine is also from that episode. And he says, not going to boobies was the same as being dead. Good stuff.
So, who you shipping? And is it the kid and Dandy? Because that's weird, bud.
It's not. It's not at all. It's it's Dandy and that first hot boobies waitress,
Yeah.
because you want the guy to get his.
Yep. I am going with Dandy also, but with Scarlet.
A fair shipping.
Yeah.
A fair shipping. Best character.
I'm going Dandy, obviously.
Yeah.
What about you?
I I think maybe QT.
Yeah.
I like QT. He's a good little guy.
Yeah.
Did it
So,
age well?
I mean, it's only aged like 9 years.
Yeah.
So I would say yes, because
Yeah.
it's still like it's better animation than like, I mean, Soul Eater, which was I'm pretty sure newer. I'm not even saying it just to shit on Soul Eater, but Soul Eater was one that we watched that I think was newer.
I don't think it was.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. But it's
No,
like,
Soul Eater was 08.
okay. Well, it's like I'll say even better animation than My Hero.
Yeah.
And I watch that one regularly, so I know that for sure.
Yeah. What would you rate it?
Wait, we gotta go final thoughts first, and then rating.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. What's your final thoughts, man?
Final thoughts. I loved it. Absolutely want to finish it. I just blazed through those 6 episodes.
Yeah. So for me, it's true. It's Johnny Bravo meets Cowboy Bebop. So yeah,
Yep.
what else? What else do you want? But where's your rating and your tars?
I mean, I think we do this one out of 5. It's like a 4.5 out of
Yeah,
5.
I'm going 4 for
Yeah.
sure.
As far as tars, I think I'm gonna put it number 3, right after Yu Yu Hakusho.
So I don't know. I think I know my Tars memory down, and I think it's UU number 1, 8th MS team. So it's gonna be right after 8th MS team.
Ooh, we both have it at number 3.
Okay, man. So next time, what were our choices? Okay, so to decide the next episode, I want you to give me a number between 1 and 9.
8.
Okay. And then another number, let's just say like an even number.
2.
Okay. And then another number between 1 and 5. Yeah, 1 and 5. Let's see that.
5.
Okay. So the next one, it's Hamtaro.
Fuck yes. I'm so excited. All right. Have you watched Space Dandy? What do you think of it? Let us know.
Let us know.
All right, guys. We'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.
Oh, one last thing. Special thanks. I like snaps. Hopefully we put the music into this one.
Yeah, we need to. All right. Bye, guys.
Next time on Anime Boiz. What are we talking about Hamtaro?
It's going to be good.